And I call on Henry Smith.
Thank you very much indeed for calling me in this important debate on the future of the British Indian Ocean Territory, and I would like to congratulate and thank my right honourable friend, the member for Shrewsbury, for securing this debate and the very powerful comments that he made in his introduction. There has been injustice visited upon the Chagos Islanders for well over half a century. It was the Harold Wilson administration that forcibly removed them from their homeland, exiled them, mainly to Mauritius, but also to some other locations like the Seychelles in the late 1960s. Not a decision made by this democratic parliament, but a decision made by orders in council. The way they were then treated in Mauritius is really quite appalling. They've been treated as second-class citizens in that country, and the injustice upon injustice that they have suffered really is intolerable. I believe that they should have a right of return to their homeland, and I'm pleased that in the Nationality and Borders Act, as passed earlier this year, they now have a right of further generations to be able to settle here in this country, because they are British citizens and should be by right, and I'm pleased that has been recognised. But their future should be determined by them. And the prospect of, as has happened throughout the last half century or more, the prospects of their decision, their future being decided by London, by Port Louis, by the UN in New York, by the International Court in The Hague, or wherever else, is fundamentally wrong. Chagos Islanders must be able to determine their own future. Mention has been made by my right honourable friend from Shrewsbury, Ms Cummings, of the strategic importance of the Chagos archipelago. Yes, they were very strategically important during the Cold War, very strategically important during the actions in Afghanistan and Iraq, and again with seemingly a new Cold War now having started with Russian aggression, are very strategic again. The point has been made already about the threat from China. The Chinese Belt and Road Initiative has already seen former Commonwealth countries in the Caribbean, in the Pacific Ocean, coming under Chinese coercion and influence. And there is a very real danger that if the British Indian Ocean Territory is ceded to Mauritius, then there will be real pressure for Chinese military installations on those extremely strategic islands. That would be a major military and strategic error for the global community. And I wonder if the Minister could address this point. What discussions have been had with Washington in terms of their views, in terms of defence and foreign policy, should the islands be ceded to Mauritius? But Ms Cummings, trying to remain within the time that you are allowing, I would like to conclude my remarks by saying that, as my constituents has already been referenced, Frankie Bontemps has said of Chagosian voices, the vast majority of the Chagos community that I represent, and I probably represent the largest Chagos community anywhere in the world, the vast majority, despite the appalling history that this country has visited on them, want to remain British, and they must be consulted.
Mike Cairn.
Thank you, Ms Cummings. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. Can I congratulate the